A story is important for the emotional journey, and if you can innovate technology, you can give your audience a new emotional journey and impact someone to actually change the way they think about life. And that's what I love about filmmaking. So
all of us know more or less now, you're getting good at it, right? So that virtual production has to do with visualization, previsualization, right? Motion capture, mocap, right? Hybrid camera, we heard a lot about digitizing the camera earlier on. Green screen hybrid stuff, right, in the cameras. LED, live action, and all of this is actually like orchestrated by games engine and brought to the next level. Like, it's a sort of a summary, right? I mean, I'm not a techie, but I'm trying to bring it there. So what is the newest or what is the next organic development, Jannicke? Is it all going, I mean, everybody's been talking about the metaverse. I mean, we could have said like not virtual production, but it's about the metaverse, right? And probably none of you who had been there, because who knows? Who would have come if the title of this session would have been the metaverse? Come on. Okay, wow, that's a lesson. I mean, like, really.
that's a good 0.3%.
Yes, and for those of you who are online, we don't forget you. Well, there were only 3 people saying they would have come. So, okay. So, let's go on. So, what is the next level of virtual production then? Is this the metaverse? Is it shooting in the metaverse?
Yes, I really loved when you called it virtual production 1.0 and virtual production 2.0, which is a metaverse. You can call it a multiverse. You can call it Web 3.0. I really believe that when Facebook coined it metaverse, I think that's what's going to stick. And the big difference between virtual production and metaverse is that metaverse just, it's a protocol. It's nothing more fancy than that. So when you look at the internet and before your web address it says HTTP, that is a text protocol that was developed in 1989 and we haven't changed it. We haven't innovated the internet. Right.
Right, absolutely. And actually, there is a question from the audience, from JP Jacobson, who is asking, how does metaverse differs from open world games like World of Warcraft or Minecraft? And we're not going to enter this because it is not a metaverse session, but of course it is like all the Web3 thing. It is the embodied internet. It's not only a game with... Right?
So what the metaverse allows me now is that I can transport information in X, Y, and Z, so spatial web. And that's all it is. It's nothing more than that. Nothing much is going to change.
But that's interesting because everybody here has been talking about virtual production and the metaverse, but what I wanted to ask is, does it mean now that we are in a stage of virtual production which is actually pretty mature, that we are transcending it to the next level of the metaverse? So it means that all of you who are starters, you need to get on top of things quickly because it is really already the next level, right? So are we in a stage where we're still experimenting and in the virtual production, or is it already like, oh, now it's a mature market? How do you see this?
The limitation is computing power. So as soon as we can decentralize computing power, then we can start taking over globally, sort of thing, and make universe globally. Right now, I think you're just going to have active pockets. But if you look at an example, just smart cars, Tesla cars are already mapping the world and creating their own closed environment for metaverse that they use to communicate. And that's literally what all smart technology is going to use, and my cinema camera.
Yeah, that's right. So that brings me also to which skills you need. We heard a lot about the software, we heard about the hardware, everybody has been bringing a specific angle into this. So now I would like to know, especially also, Martin, you were showing also like who do you need to cooperate with, and all the different disciplines from the film world is coming up. So Jannicke, I mean, you work alone also in a diverse environment, but you work with remote teams and etc. So how do you work with people together in a virtual production settings, and who do you work with first?
So this is interesting. So unlike traditional analog,
we already see traditional filmmaking. Okay.
It's a far more holistic workflow. So you try to invite the heads of department in really early, already as soon as the script is written, way before the storyboard starts to get set. Bring in all heads of departments. And of course, budgeting of a movie is way more difficult now because you do need the funding up front.
So for those of them who are here in the room and who are producers and who would like to enter this sphere and get good at it in reality and not only sit down but bringing it to the next level, what would you recommend? How do they start to make it happen?
Have conversations.
With whom best? With what?
With your creators. I mean, as soon as you have a director and a writer and a producer, when you have that trio, start inviting in your cinematographer, start inviting in all heads of departments and art and everybody that you wouldn't really consider a valuable part of the process. The problem is that if you invite heads of department in too late, they will have a valid reason for why all of your work is wasted up until now. So everybody's opinion needs to be tested out, and that's why previs will be everything in the future of film production. But the good thing with previs is you don't throw it away. When you previs a movie, you actually recycle all your digital assets and you put it into post-production.
Mm-hmm. So now, how do you choose the people you work with yourself? Is it based on their skills, based on their network, based on their virtual production know-how as such? I'm thinking of the last presentation, talking about the ecosystem to make it happen from the broadcaster's point of view. So from your point of view, how do you choose your experts?
I love people who don't believe that anything is impossible. So like everything is possible as long as you're willing to work hard enough, right?
It is. I think it is something which is quite a common quality here when I see the people on stage, that basically you have to believe that everything is possible, more or less, right? You have to push the borders, and you know that the creativity comes first and then the technology will follow. Is it the way you see it too? Like first
absolutely,
the story?
and everybody wants to... a story is important for the emotional journey, and if you can innovate technology, you can give your audience a new emotional journey and impact someone to actually change the way they think about life. And that's what I love about filmmaking. So my crew are passionate, and everybody I work with are passionate about their work.
So you, as a virtual production professional and really like an experimental person, and you are pushing the borders, what do you think is the next step coming up? You wanted to say something about the metaverse, I believe.
Oh, no. So I think we mostly just covered the metaverse. I think what's important to understand is that when Facebook is making the metaverse, it's purely a website platform. I can make a website on the metaverse, and so can you. It's just a website. That's all it is.
Okay. And what is your very big next project in virtual production? What's coming up?
Well, I can't actually speak about the projects that are coming up, but I can explain how virtual production is also extending into other fields of work, I guess. So we're working with humanitarian aid groups or organizations in Ukraine, and we're lending them all our film tools so that they can communicate on an encrypted network. And I think that's really important, how us in the film business can actually lend all our expertise and technology to actually make a difference.